Greetings, Guardians. This is Olympus Alliance. Today is not about hype. It's about reading Drayne correctly. Because Drayne is not a hero you drop into any team and expect miracles. He is not burst first. He is not a solo carry. Drayne is something far more dangerous. He is frontline pressure, and when the moment is right. He is a finisher that removes enemies from the battlefield. Drayne is a warrior of the way of eternity. He stands on the front line, his main stat is strength, and every single one of his skills scales with physical attack. That alone tells us his design philosophy is focused, intentional, and aggressive. But here's the first key point many players miss. Even though Drayne is a frontline warrior, he is not meant to stand alone. His kit performs best when he is protected just enough to stay active. That's why proper tanks and stabilizers matter so much. Heroes like Corvus or Electra allow Drayne to survive early pressure, and once he does, the fight starts tilting in your favor. Because Drayne doesn't need one perfect moment. He needs time. His kit revolves around constant pressure, repeated area damage, and punishing wounded enemies. Let's break that down. His ultimate, Rising Tornado, defines his presence on the battlefield. Drayne spins his sword, striking enemies in front of him multiple times. But this isn't just damage. During this window, he grows larger, his physical attack increases, and, most importantly, the range of his skills expands. That means Drayne doesn't just hit harder. He hits more often, more targets, and from safer positions. This immediately tells us something crucial. Drayne scales extremely well the longer he stays active. His second skill reinforces this identity perfectly. Every few basic attacks, Drayne deals area damage around himself, and that strike counts as a basic attack. That detail matters. It means his pressure never stops. He becomes a walking damage engine, constantly pulsing threat into the enemy formation. Then comes Power Charge, the skill that turns Drayne from a damage dealer into an enabler. He increases crushing for himself and all allies behind him while continuing to attack forward. This is huge. Crushing allows physical damage to cut through defenses more effectively, which means Drayne isn't just dealing damage, he's amplifying the entire team's output. And now we arrive at the skill that truly defines him. This is not bonus damage. This is not a multiplier. This skill removes the enemy with the lowest health from the battlefield. No resurrection. No second chance. No safety net. That single mechanic makes Drayne a true finisher. He doesn't need to start the fight. He ends it. Against resurrection-based strategies, this pressure alone forces mistakes and panic. Now let's talk build, briefly and efficiently. All skills must be maxed. No debate. Sparks of power go straight to maximum, armor, health, strength, physical attack, all value. Skins are simple for now, max the default. But remember this, physical attack and armor penetration skins will redefine Drayne the moment they arrive. Glyphs follow clear priorities, physical attack first, then health, then strength, followed by armor penetration and crushing. Level 40 is the efficiency breakpoint. Artifacts are where Drayne's identity truly comes together. Start with the Ring of Strength, his foundation. Then move to the Book of Epicness. This is where many players misunderstand him. Yes, Drayne lacks traditional tank armor. But he compensates with crushing. By standing on the front line and applying pressure, enemies naturally drop below 50% health, and that's where crushing activates. Damage spikes. momentum shifts. And it doesn't stop with him. His third skill buffs allies behind him, and his weapon artifact, Valanta's sword, triggers massive crushing on ultimate activation. Around 18,000 from the artifact alone, combined with over 30,000 from his skill buff. Nearly 50,000 crushing applied team-wide. That is absurd amplification for a frontline warrior. Finish the build with the Talisman of the Swordmaster, Strength main stat, 3 physical attack slots, perfect synergy. Now let's talk teams, quickly, clearly, and with purpose. Drayne teams are not random. Each one highlights a different aspect of his kit. With Drayne, Yasmin, Burner, Hus, and Octavia, you get layered pressure. Drayne anchors the fight, Yasmin executes distracted targets, Burner punishes long engagements, Hus converts aggression into sustain, and Octavia disrupts tempo. This team doesn't rush. It suffocates. With Drayne, Yasmin, Tempest, Somna, and Aiden, patience wins fights. Time slows, rotations break, and Aiden stabilizes early chaos. When enemies dip into execution range, Drayne ends it. With Drayne, Burner, Somna, Folio, and Polaris, control becomes inevitable. Polaris locks tempo, Folio destabilizes positioning, Burner scales relentlessly, and Drayne enables everything. Once control is taken, it rarely lets go. With Drayne, Mushy, Soleil, Burner, and Somna, pressure never drops. Frontline dominance, sustained damage, no disengage. The opponent simply runs out of answers. And with Drayne, Burner, Hus, Soleil, and Peach, the playstyle becomes aggressive and flexible, mixing burst, sustain, and unpredictability while Drayne keeps damage scaling relevant. So what does all this tell us? Drayne is not instant impact. He is pressure, timing, and execution. And now you're probably thinking, alright, how do we counter this big boy? And here's the truth. We didn't include it on purpose. Because as we said at the beginning, don't expect Drayne to change everything immediately. He is still a warrior. He still needs the right tools. But remember this. His relics are almost out. And when that happens, his role can change instantly. And when it does, we will bring you a fully deserved, dedicated counter guide. Until then, understand this. Drayne already applies pressure. He already amplifies teams. And when the moment comes, he removes enemies from the battlefield. Stay tuned, stay sharp, and as always, salute and friendship.